the Bay Area? Thousands of runners have assembled at the foot of the Bay Bridge in San Francisco for the start of the largest foot race in the world. Welcome to the 100th running of the Zazzle Beta Breakers on Cron 4, presented by Xfinity from Comcast. Here are the hosts of our show, Pam Moore and Gary Radnich.
And you are looking at the corner of Beale and Howard Streets in downtown San Francisco, where an estimated 50 to 60,000 runners are gathering for the start of the 2011 100th running of the Zazzle Beta Breakers. This race started back in 1912. It was a celebration of San Francisco's recovery from the 1906 earthquake, and today this race is one of the premier running events in the entire country. Good morning, everybody. I'm Pam Moore with Cron 4 Sports Director Gary Radnich, and we are here to welcome you to the 100th running of the Zazzle Beta Breakers.
All right, good morning, young lady. You know, after 100 years, the one constant of the Beta Breakers is that the race course literally cuts the city in half. You love this one, right, Pam?
I do.
Earlier this morning, we ran the course. We begin at the corner of Beale and Howard near the foot of the Bay Bridge. Runners will sprint down Howard, past the Moscone Center, and past mile 1. At 9th Street, they'll make a sharp right-hand turn and head towards the 2-mile mark at the foot of the infamous Hayes Street Hill. From there, runners will begin the long climb up Hayes and past mile 3. From Hayes, they'll zigzag into Divisadero, then Fell Street, and mile 4 at the entrance to the Golden Gate Park. This is the most scenic part of the race, past the Conservatory of Flowers and the Steinhardt Aquarium, then past Spreckles Lake, the Buffalo Paddock, and mile 6. Runners will then get their first scent of ocean breeze as they pass the polo field. From there, it's a left turn south onto the Great Highway, and a 400-yard sprint to the finish. All right, now the elite runners will take about 35 minutes to finish the race across the city. That might be faster than you can drive it on some days. Weekend runners and people in costume, Pam, they could take several hours.
You know, it was a stormy night around the Bay Area, but things cleared up just in time for the race. Our Cron 4 crews are set up all along the 7.5-mile course. Let's start by checking in with James Fletcher. He's at the start line. James.
Pam, Gary, good morning. We are here, and the racers are ready. Look at that. Tortilla's already flying. I'm here with our photographer, Yolia Seves. We've been teamed up here for the past couple years. Fantastic. As you said, the skies have parted. Yolia, I don't know if you can show some of the blue sky up above, but this couldn't have happened at a better time. Obviously, everybody excited about running the race, not necessarily in the rain, and it looks like we may successfully pull that off. Yolia, behind you, Gary mentioned the elite runners. They're already out here warming up. They're allowed to do that. They'll be heading down the racetrack here momentarily at the top of the hour, and when they get to the 2.5-mile mark, that's when they'll hit the infamous Hayes Hill. That's where Cron 4's Henry Tenenbaum standing by. Henry?
Well, I can tell you the weather's pretty good here on Hayes Hill. The slope is no better than ever. This is, of course, a huge hill. This is where the race is won, the race is lost. This is also where they have a not bad party. Now, I ran the entire course this morning, and, actually, I looked at it on Google Map, and it hasn't changed a bit, folks. It's exactly the way you'd expect. It's still got all of the challenges. Right now, very quiet out here. We expect it to pick up pretty soon. Vicki, over to you.
Henry, the only race you run is you run your mouth. That's all we can say. We're here at the Conservatory of Flowers, Golden Gate Park. This is really prime viewing spot for some of the wackiest, zaniest costumes you're going to see. And there we have it, right over there, the Groovy Judy Band. They're just warming up. Basically, this is where you're going to want to be. We'll be checking back. But first, we're going to go to Jacqueline Bennett. She's at the finish line. Jacqueline, this is your first race, isn't it?
It is my very first. I'm here at the finish line, very excited. Crews are getting ready here behind me, but we're keeping an eye on the weather here for you. Again, as we told you that the storms have cleared out, but let's take a look at the winds. The winds are really going to be a factor out here this morning. The flag's blowing furiously in the wind. Wind gusts are getting into the 20s. There is still a chance we could see an isolated shower or two, but we're going to hope that it's going to stay dry out here. Pam, Gary, back to you in the studio.
All right, Jacqueline doing the weather forecast from out there.
Yeah.
It was windy. You could see that.
And, we've got an expert coming up. The last American to win this race in 1986, Ed Eyestone's going to be our color commentator.
And
so if you think Pam and I are going to give you the insights, relax. We've got Ed coming up once the race begins.
Well, let's go back now to the start line where James Fletcher is standing by with some very special guests. James.
Thank you, Pam. Yes, I've got two gentlemen here with a very personal connection to the race. I've got Bob Burnett and I've got Randy Cohen. Guys, explain to me how you're connected. What's so special?
Well, my grandfather, Bobby Ballou, and Randy's great-grandfather, won the first and second 1912, 1913 Beta Breakers.
The very first race, and you have his trophy.
The trophy from the 1912.
Gary, Pam, look at that. Fantastic. And Randy, you've got a trophy as well. What's this?
This is the one from 1913, the second one. I guess they get bigger as you win more. But so we've been holding on to these for a long time and ready to go race and see what we can do. Anything close to what he did, I guess.
Absolutely. You guys have got your bibs on. You'll be racing today, obviously.
Wearing his number.
That's his number right there, 97?
And this is his number for the 1913 win.
How about that? So, Gary, Pam, there you go. We've got some close family, friends, and relatives, obviously, of the very first winner of the Beta Breakers, number one back in 1912.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks, James. In this day and age where, memorabilia is being sold, quicker than you get it in your hand, it's pretty nice that they've held on to this stuff.
Nice.
1912 and 1913.
Really nice from the very beginning of this very important race for San Francisco and the Bay Area. Well, coming up, we're going to head back to the start line to get the inside track on the lead runners. And Vern Glenn is ready. He'll be tracking the lead runners all the way to the finish. Stay with us.